Hi, this is a recap of the film Millenium Actress. Spoilers ahead. Ginei Studios is a well-known film studio in Japan that goes out of business. We follow interviewer Genya Tachibana and his cameraman Kyoji Ida, who are about to have an interview with the studio's most popular star, Chiyoko Fujiwara, now in her 70s. Chiyoko meets with Tachibana, who is her biggest fan. He brought her a very important key that begins Chiyoko's reflection of her life. She explains that she was born during the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923. Her father was killed, but he left behind a shop which allowed Chiyoko and her mother to live well. Chiyoko's story begins in Japan during World War II. The movie director of Ginei Studios noticed Chiyoko and called her in, together with her mother. He wants Chiyoko to become an actress starring in a movie for the Japanese soldiers on the front lines in Manchuria. Chiyoko's mother refuses. She thinks poorly of the profession. Tachibana and Ida are pulled into the story, serving as documentary filmmakers. A mysterious man carrying a suitcase runs into Chiyoko. He helps her up and limps away into the park. Policemen arrive and questions Chiyoko if she had seen the man. Chiyoko notices blood on the ground and hides it beneath the snow. She then points the policeman in a direction different from where the man had run off. She goes to the park and sees the man, and she immediately tends to his injuries. Chiyoko begins to secretly provide shelter for the man in the storeroom of the shop. He tells her he's an artist. He's been working on a painting, one that he wants to finish in the pure winter landscape of his home. Chiyoko would love to go as well, and the man promises he would take her when there is peace, and there he would show her his secret. Chiyoko notices that around his neck is a key, which he vaguely says is a very important one. Chiyoko falls in love with him. Returning home, Chiyoko finds bandages covered in dried blood in the snow, and the man's key. She returns to the shop, and it is surrounded by police and bystanders. She learns from an employee that the man had been found and was forced to flee. He had run off to the train station, and Chiyoko rushes frantically to the station in order to find him. Chiyoko finally arrives at the station and sees the man on board a train that is about to leave the platform. She chases after him, but slips and is not able to reach him before the train leaves. Chiyoko vows that she will go see him. Tachibana realizes that this was a turning point for Chiyoko in becoming an actress so that she could find the man she loves. On her first movie, Chiyoko is introduced to the bitter star actress Eiko Shimao and the movie director's son, Junichi Otaki. On another film, Chiyoko forgets her lines, to the agitation of Eiko. Something spurs Chiyoko from within, and she passionately says that she wants to see the man. She takes advice from Eiko to go to a fortune teller to see if she could gather some clues about the man's whereabouts. The fortune teller knows something about a man with a key and points her to the north. Chiyoko travels to the north aboard a train. Along the route, the train is attacked by bandits. Chiyoko is knocked unconscious. She comes to and tries to flee, but the train door is jammed. Smoke and flames begin to engulf the inside of the train car, and the bandits draw near. The door opens, and to the filmmaker's shock, the bandits have disappeared, and the scene changes to a kingdom under attack, with Chiyoko playing the role of a princess. Flaming arrows rain from the sky, nearly hitting Chiyoko. She runs desperately toward the palace to find the prince, despite the impending dangers. On arrival, she sees a body sprawled on the throne in blood. Chiyoko begins to cry and asks why he would not wait for her. She lifts a sword to her own throat to kill herself until a ghostly elderly woman spinning a wheel speaks. The mysterious woman says that she's known Chiyoko since birth, and Chiyoko demands to know her intentions. The woman beckons Chiyoko to drink a liquid, which she says will bring her to the next world. Chiyoko drinks the liquid, thinking she would die and rejoin the prince. But the woman deceived her. What she drank was the 1,000-year tea, and the ghost tells her she will now suffer many years in the flames of eternal love. The palace collapses, and a support beam nearly hits Chiyoko, but she is saved by Tachibana. Tachibana tells her that her lord has been taken captive, and Chiyoko becomes a samurai-clad warrior to rescue him, with Tachibana riding alongside her. They ride through a wave of soldiers, and an adversary shoots at her. Tachibana tanks the bullet, and he falls. The scene returns to present-day reality, with the current Chiyoko acting out with Tachibana. Returning to the movie memories, Chiyoko, as an in-disguise traveler, ambushes a group of men carrying a prisoner. She cuts upon the prison, thinking it would hold the man she's been searching for, only to find Aiko. Chiyoko holds her own against a dozen men with her swordplay. The men seem to have an upper hand until Tachibana, acting as a traveling swordsman, appears. He has an affection for her and tells her to leave while he handles the fight. Chiyoko leaves, and Aiko follows in pursuit. Chiyoko battles with Aiko, defeating her, demanding to know where the man is. She learns from Aiko that he's in Kyoto. The scene changes to Kyoto during Edo period, where Chiyoko is an apprentice geisha, begging for mercy from Aiko. Aiko punishes Chiyoko for leaving to visit a prisoner about to be executed, and orders a handyman, Tachibana, to look after her. Tachibana, however, sympathizes with Chiyoko and allows her to escape from the Okiya disguised as a regular citizen. She rushes to the jail, discovering that several rebels have escaped, and she continues to search for the man. The mysterious man runs into Chiyoko and recognizes her. He flees again and tells Chiyoko to keep the key until they meet again. The police arrive asking if Chiyoko had seen the rebel, and Chiyoko lies again. This time, the chief recognizes her and threatens to hurt her. Tachibana arrives just in time, giving her his horse, and Chiyoko heads toward the countryside. Chiyoko is caught by the police and thrown into jail. Aiko is there also. Chiyoko refuses to say a word about the man she loves, and Aiko tells her that feelings change. Tachibana, a rich man, comes and bails her out of jail with a lot of money. To her dismay, the police chief tells Chiyoko that they've caught the artist. She runs after him, and the scene changes to World War II during the Tokyo bombings. Aiko catches her as she is about to run off, slapping her for wanting to throw her life away for another. The two return to the safety of shelter as the bombs drop. Chiyoko returns to her hometown, finding out that it's been bombed and her shop destroyed. Chiyoko searches in the rubble for something. The clouds part, and the sun shines on a picture of Chiyoko as a happy student. Etched beside her portrait in the stone are the words, "Until the day we meet again." In the present day, Chiyoko has fallen unwell. Tachibana suggests that she should get some rest, and they will return on another day. However, Chiyoko wants to continue. After the war, Chiyoko and her studio did what they could to survive. Without clothes or food, the thought of making good films was what had kept them going. It's the 1950s during the peak of Chiyoko's acting career, and she continues to search for the man. She realizes then that Tachibana worked at Guiné's studio, albeit in a minor position. The director, Otaki, falls in love with Chiyoko, but she doesn't feel the same way. On the day of the set, Chiyoko finds that the key is missing. She frantically searches with help from the staff, but to no avail. Soon after, Chiyoko marries Otaki. One day, she finds the key in a chest and is confronted by Aiko. Aiko had stolen the key. She reveals that the fortune teller was a setup, and that because of jealousy, she's been trying to get rid of Chiyoko since the very beginning. Young Tachibana interrupts and says there is a visitor for Chiyoko, the now elderly policeman who wants to atone for his sins. Chiyoko tells him to leave, but he hands her a letter from the artist. His letter mentions Hokkaido, his hometown. Chiyoko takes off immediately and uses every means she can to reach him. Earthquake strikes, and the train that Chiyoko is on derails. Chiyoko runs from the train and has flashbacks from her younger self, both in reality and film. She gets picked up by Tachibana in a truck, who takes her to Hokkaido. Chiyoko struggles to walk up a snowy hill, and the scene changes to a space journey across the moon. At last, Chiyoko sees the painting on top of the hill. It portrays the man walking away from her. He disappears, and Chiyoko vows that no matter what, she will go to find him. During filming, earthquake strikes, and Chiyoko is nearly killed. The young Tachibana shields her from the collapse. Chiyoko leaves behind her key, and Tachibana takes it for safekeeping, promising to return it to her someday. In the present day, Tachibana asks why Chiyoko went into hiding after that studio incident. She brings out the painting of her younger self. Chiyoko realized that she wasn't the same girl that he remembered anymore, and she wanted the man to see her as the girl that she once was. Earthquake strikes and Tachibana protects Chiyoko. She collapses and is transported to the hospital. On their way to her, Ida says that Chiyoko never met the artist again. Tachibana reflects back in his memories to the elderly policeman, who confesses that he tortured the artist and that he refused to talk right to the end of his life. At the hospital, Tachibana collapses to his knees as the doctor tells him about Chiyoko's condition. Chiyoko awakes to see Tachibana and Ida. Tachibana lies to her that she will be fine, but she sees through him. She tells him not to be sad, because she will be going after that man again. Tachibana was always there for her, and because of him, Chiyoko was able to hold on to the key again and relive her memories. Tachibana assures that she will be able to find him, this time for sure. In her final act, Chiyoko prepares to take off in a space shuttle. She had fallen in love with the search and will continue to search as she moves on to the next world. Thank you for watching. If you liked this recap, please subscribe and comment what you would like to see next.